Hey, Gary here. Welcome to Book Mob episode 32. This week's episode is October Book Bonanza. Let's see if we can find a book or two that you might enjoy that I can recommend. I had a very, very big reading month, and let's get started with Robert Galbraith's The Running Grave, the seventh in the Strike novel series. Now, I'm not sure if, well, I'm sure you do, but this is J.K. Rowling's sort of other job when she's not, making magic and creating flying serpents with dogs' heads. But The Running Grave is the seventh in the series, and it's a brilliant series. It really is. I love it. It's so thick with plot, sinister plot, great characters, and it's a real fun read. And a lot of people on reviews that I've read, always complain, no, not complain, but they talk about the length of the book. For me, the thicker, the longer, the better. Wonderful book. It's a book that you have to stay on top of because of the intricacies of the plot and the characters and all the incidents that take place. So you've really got to stay on top of it. Maybe if you can get through 40, 50 pages a day, that will help. Awesome. Adrian Tchaikovsky. When I first saw this book, I thought it was what's his name? Andrei Tarkovsky, who was the Russian filmmaker from the 70s, and obviously, no, because the poor man is gone. Anyway, Children of Memory, science fiction, sort of opera, not my favorite genre, but I gave it a go. I enjoyed it, but I think you really have to be thick into science fiction of a particular kind in order to enjoy this book, but a fun read nevertheless. Next. Now, 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't have read this. I was too busy trying to catch up on Penguin Classics. But boy, has my joy of fiction and narrative really changed. And this is Ken Follett's The Armour of Light, which is, I think, the fifth book in the Kingsbridge series. And great read. Now, I've read, I think they're called The Evening and the Mornings, and then that was a book written as a prequel because the other book in the Kingsbridge series, The Pillars of the World, that was, initially the first one, and then he went back and wrote, oh goodness me, The Evenings and the Mornings. Anyway, this is the last book in the series, and in between that, you've got World Without End and A Column of Fire, which I'm currently reading, so I'll have all those done by the end of the year. All right, next, this was actually a fun read. I've never read Joe Nesbo, a bit of Nordic horror. A fun story, really well written, quick, easy read, great for flying, great for train rides, great for a holiday read. So I would highly recommend The Night House, about a kid who's sort of come from a tragic past, and he enters a world of sort of the mundane banality of a suburban life, and he's got special contacts with monsters and evil demons or whatever. But there's a threesome in this book. It's good. Keep going, and you'll have fun reading it. Oh, and here we go. If someone had said you read Jeffrey Archer, and I would have gone, not my type of book. But unfortunately, I got hooked on the very first of the Jeffrey Archer Warwick crime detective series. Now, I think these are kind of more like fantasy books because it's got cricket, and it's got tea parties, and well-behaved citizens and evil sort of the master criminal who never ever gets rid of. He always commits crimes, but a fun read. I'm only keeping going because I've read all the previous six. I think this is the seventh. I can't recall, but I'm happy to keep going because they're very easy to read and they're fun and they're light entertainment. So again, another good holiday read, particularly if you've got an hour or two per day to spend to lose yourself in some, entertaining fiction. Then we came Zadie Smith, The Fraud. historical novel. It's sort of, I mean, it's like a soap opera, but it's, you know, it's supposedly got depth. And look, I read it pretty quick. I enjoyed it in the extent that I wasn't tired of the book. It didn't exhaust me, but there was nothing in it that really grabbed me. Still, I mean, it's an interesting book. A story within a story within a story. So give it a go if you're into that kind of thing. I wouldn't know who to recommend this book to, but it's obviously well written and well published, in the sense that Zadie Smith is a huge writer in the sort of the canon of contemporary authors. So yeah. Now, assistant to the villain, Hannah Nicole Maehrer, I think that's how I pronounce her name. Apparently, Hannah is a TikTok sensation, so I thought I'd give the TikTok generation a go. It's sort of like a contemporary world with magic and villains, and the villain is the main character, but is he really the villain? Who's the villain? And very easy to read. I mean, I would almost suggest that it's juvenile literature, but I guess there's some, you know, so it's juvenile literature with adult concepts. But anyway, you know, major, minor sort of read. Maybe if you're 15 to 22, you'd like it. What do I know? Oh, and this one, the Mote in God's Eye, is you know, it's very hard to read authors who share the same story, but you don't really notice it in this book. It's from, I think, from 1976 or something. Let me just double check. I don't want to give any wrong info out. No, 1974, and I mean, it's dense. The alien worlds are sort of, the contact with the alien world is very, very sort of disjointed. It wasn't as strong as you know, everything leading up to the actual first contact was fun and entertaining, but it just gets bogged down in trying to convince you that this alien first contact experience can take the leap of faith that is required in order for the story to work. I don't think the story works entirely, and it's a very it's a disciplined read. So again, I think you really have to be of a certain mindset or a certain bent for the type of literature looking forward to enjoy this. Okay, The Killers of the Flower Moon. I haven't seen the film. I probably won't. I'm not going to sit 3.5 hours, but I'll go see Napoleon though. But Killers of the Flower Moon, you know, it's my only non-fiction book of the month. Really, you know, enjoyed it. It was well written, well researched. Horrendous story. Boy, you know, when you keep reading about the evil that men do, I mean, gee whiz, I mean, it's just ugly, and there's never, even with justice carried through, there was no justice in this story, and it's a very depressing read in the sense that, you know, the amount of hatred and the amount of greed that led, you know, certain people to steal not only land but lives. And I mean, it's good to read as a historical idea, but boy, it sort of really teaches you that nothing's really changed, has it? And finally, for October, Lola in the Mirror by Trent, Dalton. Now, I think I've read 3 of Dalton's four books. Again, I just find, you know, he's an Australian writer, great fiction, good storytelling, but there seems to be, I don't know, like it's filled with, you know, violence and sex and absurdity, but at the same time, it's kind of got a very sort of juvenile sort of storyline, like the princesses and the prince and the princess, and so, you know, I did struggle through it because it just doesn't seem authentic. It just seems forced. The actual overall story, you know, the artist's life and how I mean, it's difficult to say because it's obviously been well received. The guy's, he's had series he's made from his previous books, and obviously he's got his sort of pen on the pulse of culture. But I struggled through this. I didn't want to put it away. I wanted to finish it because I kept thinking that it was going to get better. Now, my hope is that Trent Dalton will write something next that is going to grab me, because I can see so much power in his storytelling and his sense of narrative and character building. But again, I just wish he'd grow up a bit. And like I said, there's a paradox. You've got the violence and the sex and the hatred and the meanness and the nastiness of people, but at the same time, it's all sort of revolves around like a sort of, I don't know, like a kind of like a home and away type scene, But anyway, that was the last book of October, and hopefully there's something in there that you guys will enjoy reading. And so that looks like it is it for episode 32. And I'll be back, obviously, with another episode before the year's out. Thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.